Because what this was in these years, the period that I cover here, which is about 1848 or 50 to about 1880, was the greatest environmental transformation, convulsion by far in American history. And I would argue that there are very few times in world history, when an area that large had been so completely transformed, so massively environmentally transformed. And that means, of course, that the whole way of living that Indians had before that, was the legs were cut out from under it. You can't if you're a hunting gathering people in California.
Just the environmental destruction,
the elimination of the bison and the replacement by cattle, by ranching. That's an obvious, dramatic example of it. But that story could be told over and over and over and over throughout the far West. We remake the world environmentally when they come in, and this world is not the world that Indian peoples had been living in for generations. And knew how to deal with and how to support themselves. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I see your point. Even outside of the U.S. military involving themselves in certain issues, like what really can be done?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
No, it's completely overwhelmed, yeah.
We've had Dan Flores on the show a couple times, and he made a point about wildlife in the West specifically, which he spends a lot of his energy on and career on. And in telling the story about the destruction, he'll say, I've looked for it globally. And globally, I can find nothing that compares to the destruction of wildlife that occurred in the American West.
He makes that point over and over and over
again.
again.